Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Azure AI Show. We've got Matt Brown broadcasting from Chicago, originally from Ireland, and Dan Ray is with him in Chicago as well. And hi, Dan. And we
Hello.
have Solomon Jeremiah in the UK and myself, Frank Valaby, in Cork, Ireland. So over to you, Matt, to give us a few announcements. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks a million, Frank. First of all, hello to all our viewers. Dan and Matt here in Chicago in Downers Grove in Microsoft. What a wonderful city this is, nice and cold for January. So we'll start off with that. So we've some nice announcements today. I'm gonna let Dan do all the controls here. So bear with us. Uh, okay. So the first one is I'd like to obviously announce that I've been nominated as a Microsoft Regional Director. So I'm looking forward to serving the community, the MVP, MCT, the Microsoft professional community, and all the people that I've worked with over the last few years. Shout out to all my mentees that I mentor for both Microsoft and CompTIA, and obviously huge thanks to the supporters here at Journey to the Cloud, the Microsoft Speakers Club, and obviously the core team, Dan, Frank, Solomon, Micah, everybody that has kind of made this possible. So thanks for everyone's support. I suppose another thing to mention is huge congratulations to all the Microsoft MVPs that have just been announced. Congratulations, welcome to the community. You're doing such a great job. We're really, really proud to have you. Um, so thank you for being part of the community. Best of luck to all the MVPs who are in the process of going through their recertification stages, the renewals. So best of luck to them. Hopefully March April is a good month for them. We also have then, of course. So I was in Chicago this week as part of the CompTIA Security Plus workshop. Just wanted to say a huge shout out to everybody I worked with. Really great bunch of people. Worked hard. We wrote for the Security Plus SY07 workshop. So it was the February workshop of the CompTIA Security Plus. Huge shout out to everyone. Huge thanks to Brandon, Jenny, Caroline, all the group that really, really made it a worthwhile experience. Delighted to be part of the subject matter expert team. Thanks to everyone that made, obviously, the week over here very enjoyable, and just huge congratulations. It was a mammoth task, so really appreciate everyone that came out and did it with us. So again, thanks to CompTIA for that. So what we'll do is we shall hand it back over to Frank. All right.
Okay, so Solomon is going to do an Azure piece for us, and after that, then I've got a few new AI topics to show you, and we'll have a chat about them then after as a group. So, Solomon, over to you. So,
Yeah, so thank you once again for having me on your AI show. I will just try to be very quick about the demo I'm about to show you. So basically, what I just want to do is about the Azure File Sync. I already created servers on-prem, and I want to show you how we can actually manage our file sync with from cloud to our on-prem servers. So when we are talking about the Azure File Sync, it's generally what it does, it gives you a centralized point where you can actually organize your file share within your organization. So if we are familiar with normal file shares in an on-prem environment in our servers, the best way most times that an organization do it, they tend to map the network drive to devices that are in their physical locations to their server, and anytime they need files, they can just share files within from the server to maybe the client computer that is trying to access those files. So for what I'm going to do, I will just show how we can create a sync group. So what this sync group is going to be doing is we would have our files saved in Azure, and those files can be accessed with computers that are not in our organization network or in our that are not connected to probably our private network. They can access it from wherever they want to, and then the files can also sync back to our servers. Like we have our files highly available at different location and different time. And when we're also talking about the Azure File Sync, it has what we call cloud tiering. This actually, when this is enabled, it helps us to see how we can, it's when we have files that are frequently accessed with file tiering, it enables us to catch those files to our local computer, our local server, those files that we frequently access. And we also have the ones that we don't frequently access, which is the cold tier. We have the hot tier. The hot tier deals with files that we frequently access. It catches those files to our server. Then the cold tier, those files we don't frequently access, it tends to catch the metadata of those files to our server. Then anytime we need to access those files, we can always just download it directly from our file share in Azure. So what I would be showing now, I will try to be very quick about it. I would just show you my servers. I will also show you a client computer I connected to the server. And that client computer, what I did to the client computer, I mapped a network drive to the client computer. So what I'll be doing now, I would create a sync group, connect it to my server. And once I create the sync group to my server, I will try to upload files to the file share that I created. And I will also try to map the file share that I have on Azure to another computer that is not connected to my server, and I'll try to upload files and we'll see how those files they sync in real time. So I will just try to be very fast about that. So let me just go ahead to share my screen so you get an overview of what I'm doing. So I would be sharing my screen now real quick.
Yeah, take your time.
Okay.
You know, these demos, they tend
Yeah.
to,
So can you see my screen?
yeah,
Okay, so right here, I have different servers on my system. So these are about 5 servers, sorry, 5 VMs I have, and 3 of them are servers, right? So these 3 servers, they are connected, they are DC, right? And they sync among themselves. That means any user I create here, it will replicate the user immediately in this other server, right? So this is, let me pull up the server, one of the server. So this is where is, okay, so this is one of the server, right? If I come here to the, yeah, so I have this user now. This user, let me look for the user. This user here, Easy Solomon. I created this user, and since I've already created a sync between both servers, if I come to this other server right here, the user will immediately replicate itself here, right? So this is the user right here. So now this for this server. Now I have a client computer does this. Let me close this file. So I logged in with the user that I created, which is Easy Solomon. So you can see this is a domain joined computer, and my DC is abcofcloud.com. So if you also look at this, let me go to the domain controller. If I go to the domain controller, you see this is abcofcloud.com. So I've created the DC, I've connected this the user on this client computer. So if we come to this server, we have a shared folder. So just imagine an organization where we have files we share. This is for HR department, we have IT department, we have marketing. So normally you can always map this location to the client's computer, which I'm not going to be covering right here. You can do that with group policies, and is also you can the another easy way, which is not good if you have to do it for a lot of computers, is this map network drive. So you can see I've mapped the HR drive, right? So the HR drive has staff data and what is cloud computing. And if you check our server, so this is our server, we have the HR department, and those two files are inside the folder location. So now what I want to do, I will just pull up my Azure portal and I will create a storage real quick. So let me just create a storage real quick. I would use this and okay, let me create a resource group real quick so I can keep that there. So I'll create a resource group. Sorry, let me go here. Yeah, let me just create this and call it file sync RG. So I would be using this. Let me use the UK. UK South, yeah. So I would create this and I would just go next and create. So I have my resource group all set up. So now let me go to my storage and I'll create a storage account. So let me do this real quick. I'm also going to use this. I'm trying to look for the
file share.
okay, let me just be sure about where. Okay, sorry, I used a different subscription. So this is I was looking for the the resource group I created. So now I would be creating my storage. So I would just say ABC of cloud storage. Yep. Yep, that went well. So I would still choose the same. I'm going to be using the UK South. Oh, so for some reason, I don't know if it's my okay. Yeah, this is it. Yeah. So for the performance, I would use the standard, right? Because of the subscription, you can choose to use any of these, and you can also choose to use the redundancy based on how available you want your file to be in case of any disaster. So I can just leave it here. This is fine. So I'll just go next. I don't really have much to do here. I just want to create this out. Yep. So I'll wait for this to be done. Then I'm going to create the storage. So I've created the storage now. While it is loading, I'll just wait so I can access it.
So will you create a container within the storage, or are you just using a raw file?
I will within the storage, I'll create a file share.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me just wait for this to be done. I already wrote a blog post on this. It's just that I've been trying to just fix my blog. Yeah, so this is I'm going to come to file share right here. And when I click on file share, I will create a new file share. So let me just give it ABC of cloud file share. I'll give it that, and I'll leave all this the way they are, and then I'm just going to create that. So now I have my file share. So I can choose to just upload something. Let me see if I have anything I can upload. Yeah, let me move. Oh, okay. Let me just move this here and pick something from my computer. Okay, so I would be uploading a PowerPoint slide. So while this is loading, let's just give it some time. So what I'll be doing now, I have this other computer here. Let me look for it. Yes. So this computer, I just named it workstation. If you look at this computer, this should be properties. It's not on any domain. This is just a work group computer. It's not on any domain. So what I want to do, I want to map that file share to this particular computer before I continue with the sync group. So now I have this file here. For that computer that is not joined to my domain, right? And probably somebody needs to work on a particular file, right? With a particular computer that is right in the office, that doesn't leave the office, right? That is connected to the server, and they need to work on the same files, right? They need to access the same files. I can choose to say, okay, let me map this particular file share I created to the computer. So I can choose any letter. So let me use, what should I use? Frank F. Okay, yeah, I will use this. So I will copy this. I'll copy this script, and now I will go to my computer. Where is that? So this is the computer that is joined, but this workstation is on a work group. I just have to search for PowerShell. So now what I'm actually doing now, you can actually map this to Mac OS, Linux, and all of it. But I'm using this. So I'm going to hit enter now and wait for it to connect. So now these have successfully connected. So in case you're having error, most times it can be as a result of the port. And if you're looking at the PowerShell script I'm using, Microsoft, they already gave an error message there. And that error message has to do with port 445. So just in case your port 445 is not allowed, you have to also check that. So now that this is done, if you look at this computer that is not connected to my domain, I can actually see this file here. That's the Azure file, right? So now I can see this file here, but I can't see those files that are on my server. So now for me to access those files on my server on this computer and also access them on Azure, what I would need to do is to create my sync group. So I will go ahead and create a file sync, which is what I'm talking about today. I already opened the tab here for it. Now I would, just to be sure, I used, okay, I just hope I'm not missing the subscription. Yeah. So I'm going to create this file sync group. Let me just say file sync, sorry. So let me just say ABC of cloud file sync. Yeah. So I'm creating this. I will still put it in my UK South location region, and I'll go next. I'm leaving all this as default, but those other stuffs I'm just leaving. Most times, based on your needs in your organization, the business need, you would have to adjust those files, right? So what I will do next is I'm going to create this Azure file sync group. So now I've created the file sync group. Let's just wait and see what's next we are going to do. Yep. So now we have this machine, that's the workstation, accessing the file, but we don't have the file on our server and the other client computer that is connected to our server. So let's see how available our files can be now. Let's just wait for this to sync, to deploy. Okay, yeah, it's still the deployment process is still going on. So this is still going on. Let's just wait. Yep. So I wanted to probably create the file sync and all of it before the demo, but I just feel it's actually good most times when you're doing demo and people see the process you take in achieving it. Yep. So I'm going to the file sync I just created. So now this is the file sync I just created. Now, if you look at it, we have sync groups here. We don't have any sync group here. And we also have registered server. We don't have any registered servers here. So if I come to the sync group, I would create my sync group. So let's just give it some time. I think most times it can be as a result of network from my end. Okay. Yeah, so now that I'm creating the sync group, I would give it a name. So I would just say this is what should be the name? Okay, I would just say ABC of cloud sync group. So GP is enough, right? And the storage now, I will go and select. This was the storage I created that have the files, right? Then the file share. This is the file share I just created now. I'll select that, then I'll create it. So now it is creating a cloud endpoint. So, yep, let's wait for that to be completed. In progress, although it's showing healthy here, let's just wait for this to be done. Yeah, so this is done now, and let's just see what we have in here. So you can see now that we already have our endpoint for the file share we created. So we need to add our server endpoint to this. But before we do that, let's go back here. I need to go back to the sync. Oh, no. Yep. So we have register servers. So I need to register my server that I have on-prem. And for me to do that, I need to download this Azure file sync agent. So I'm not downloading this on my host computer. I have to do this on the server. So let me pick my server. So I'll use this 2K1. So this server is 2016. So let me confirm if this is the 2016 because I have 20. Yep. So this is 2016. So why I'm confirming the version is just so I know exactly what I'll be downloading. So let me paste this here and hit enter. So I have this here, and let me close this and I'll click on download. So when I want to download, I have the options to select the agent, which is for 2016, right? So I'm just going to select the agent for 2016 and allow. I'm going to save this. So let's allow this to download. So these are my servers. Normally, I just usually use them to just play with some stuff while I'm training. I use them for training purpose, and also sometimes I just use them for test. So now this is the agent, the recent one I just downloaded now. So I will try to run this agent and I'll wait for it to come up. Next, accept. Yeah, so I will leave the default. I'm not changing any of this, but you can always configure them depending on what you want. Automatically update, yeah, and I'll go to install. So I'll wait for this to be done installing.
So this is so Azure will sync with your on-premises.
Yeah, it's going to sync with the on-premises. Yeah. So that location that I actually mapped to the network drive, I can actually map it also to the file share on Azure. So it
Okay.
would be, yeah, highly available. You can choose to access it from different location.
So this process is just to make that file share highly available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there'll be like a central point on where you can manage them also on Azure, right? So when I'm setting this up, I will show you, you can actually choose how the files behave in terms of tiering. So you can choose to keep you can choose to keep the files on Azure, and you can create volume, your disk space policy, and the disk space policy will be based on the available space you have on your on-prem. So while you're creating that policy, so that if maybe you don't have a lot of space in your on-prem, the way the caching will be happening, Azure will not just cache those whole files into your on-prem. Because when you're caching your files, if you're caching the most frequent files, right, they will be saved. That's the hot tiering. They will be saved on your local server. But if you're using the cold, it simply means you just have like a metadata of those files. So the metadata, how it works is, if this is actually on my Azure cloud and I'm seeing it on my server, if you right click on it, you will just see the size of this file, but the size on disk will be 0. You would
Okay.
see it, yeah. So, but anytime you need to access it, you can download it to your server. It will be available for you to use it on your local. Yeah. So now I'm just going to click on finish. So when this is done, I want to see. So there's one error that likely comes up when you don't rename your subscription well, when you're trying to do this particular part. Yeah, I had a little bit of issues. That was sometime last year, and it was because of the naming I used for my subscription. So I would just wait for that to come up. Yep, this is the file I installed. So checking for updates. Yeah, this should be very fast. Mm, I don't know what's happening with this. It should pop up. Probably I'll just try it on another server if it's not coming up here. Okay, let me try using this other server for it. If it would, the agent should come up. Let me use my 2K server, yeah. So I will just try to download this real quick here. I'm using the old Internet Explorer, but let's see. Okay. Oh, I think this is downloading more than one file. So I will run this. Oh, okay. I think I have one here, but okay, let me just click on repair. Oh, I think I have one here. I just hope it's not registered. So for some reason, I don't know why this agent is not coming up. I have no idea why the agent is. Okay, what I would do. Let me just try to uninstall it real quick. Okay, I think I have another option. Let me pull up another guy real quick. Let me shut this down. Okay, let me do this real quick on this. Okay, let me wait for this to get internet. While this is trying to get internet, let me uninstall this and try to install the agent again. So these are one of the stuffs you get when you're probably doing demos, right? They
Yeah,
tend they tend
just
not
go.
to they
If it's
tend not
going to go
to
wrong, it's going to go wrong. Yeah,
We've
they
all been
tend
there.
yeah.
they tend not to work. So
But it's
this
good to see things that don't that
Yeah,
you can run into trouble in real life.
yeah. So let me just see if this can get internet and So I think I will just have to restart this server and continue. So while I'm doing that, I think Frank, you can just go on with
Yeah,
the
I'll go
reset.
on.
Yeah. So I will restart the server. Then by the time I'm done restarting it, I think we should be good to go with.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, can I share my screen there?
Yeah.
So,
You can share your screen. Let me just restart the server.
okay.
Yeah.
So I'll just share my screen and can you see my screen there now?
Yeah.
See the browser.
Yeah. So I'm just going to show you 4 different AIs that are out there at the moment. So this one is called crisp.ai. You can see in the address above. So I'm just going to play this little video here. This is for conference calls and business calls, like, so can knock out all the noise. All that type of noise.
If you're doing online meetings, you have to try Chris. With the magic of a click, AI-powered tool that bi-directionally mutes all background noise during conference calls in real time. And guess what? You can use Chris with any conferencing app. Take your online conferencing to the next level and sound super professional in your calls. Oh, and it's free.
It's free. It's great. So basically, it gets rid of all the noise in the background when you're on conference calls and wherever, and it's free. So the next one that I have is this one here is called kind of Beethoven AI. It's create custom free music that you can actually see here, right? You can generate different styles. You can make your own cuts, edit out it, change the different mode. You know what I mean?
There's your theme song, Frank.
What's that?
There's your theme song. You could have this be the Azure and AI show.
Yeah. We'll have to make a team for it, so Dan. But look, there's some great kind of production stuff on this, and wherever creating podcasts and audiobooks, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's just a brief overview of that one. Here is the one, something like the first one. It's kind of removing different sounds, and when people are doing, and and all that sort of stuff. So the AI can actually do it, you know what I mean? Clear voice and artificial intelligence removes filter sounds, stuttering and mouth sounds and all that kind of stuff in your podcast, as far as I know, the pricing part of it there, yeah, it's they give you 30 minutes for free, like, so if your podcast is over that, you might want to spend €10 and buy another one. So that's that one, Clear Voice. The other one is similar, this one here, which is kind of a bit more, it's for your podcasts as well. So basically, you do a podcast, you dump it in here, you upload it to it, it does everything for you. So yeah, you can see there multi-tracking and revoice, text to speech, all those kind of fancy tools which are very handy. So yeah, that's those four anyway: crisp, clear voice, and podcast. So that's it. How's that coming along, Solomon?
I think you're on mute.
So what do you think of those ones, Dan? Their AI seem to be getting into everything, aren't they?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I can show off this eye control stuff. So I'm using a Surface Pro with, this is Surface Pro 9 that has the SQ3 in it and LTE service. So they've introduced eye control where you can apparently use this only with the Ian keyboard. I thought that's what I was using on this one. I wonder if I have a different keyboard installed because of this being a European keyboard. Let's see. I've used this before, but multilingual text, language and region. Let's see if we're English, United States. But the eye control, or not the eye control, what's it called? It's called eye control is the capability that you can use if you've got a eye tracker software.
Okay.
I have, was it Gaze? There's software on here that's supposed to watch where you're looking. Let's see if I can find it in settings here. In the Surface app, that's where it was. My memory is slowly slowly on this to Windows effects, Windows Studio effects, and there's camera effects. And one of these camera effects, there we go, is eye contact is what it's called.
Okay.
And the idea is that when you're looking at the screen, it allows you to set up so that it looks like you're looking into the camera. And then this eye contact makes the screen adjustment through AI to look like you're looking at the webcam versus the screen. And so that's in the Surface Pro 9 Surface app under Windows Studio Effects. And Matthew and I went out to a store that we're going to return to this afternoon. We'll see if they still have the computer that I installed the NVIDIA software on.
Oh, yeah. That was
The
the
eye
one
tracking software that we looked at last week. So if they haven't reinstalled the computer, I'm going to try a reboot of that computer and see if the eye contact software on that works as advertised from NVIDIA's broadcast app, their 1.4 version, and beta drivers. So I'll let you know for next week, Frank, about that.
Okay, that's cool. So you don't have to have a huge graphics card. You can just do it on the Surface Pro.
Surface Pro 9 with the LTE. I don't know if it's on other Surface Pro 9s or Surface Pro models. I'll check that too. But I know the SQ1, 2, and 3. So the Surface Pro X original edition, the Surface Pro X second edition, and now they've gone with Surface Pro 9 LTE. So they're going backwards from 10.
Okay. So would that, you think if it's on, would you not, do you need the special hardware, graphics card, or is it the camera that you need?
So the SQ3, the ARM processor in the Surface Pro X and the Surface Pro 9 LTE, my understanding is the GPU is doing the work. The NVIDIA has specific NVIDIA graphics cards that it works with. They're pretty high-end graphics cards. So we saw a Asus with dual screens. It's a laptop with dual screens. So I had interest in just playing around with it for that. But it had one of the mobile versions of the NVIDIA cards that's supported with this eye gaze or eye contact software. And it was like a $2,000 laptop. So, the graphics card was probably a good portion of that cost. And they have like the desktop versions, but that, I think Matthew said the graphics card was like $400 or $600. It's pricey. So we'll take a look at that this afternoon, but I'm not walking out with a $600 graphics card.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what you call it? Thanks a million to, I suppose, everyone for joining us again. As always, it's a great show. I'm sure we're going to have plenty of events coming up over the next few months. With things being a bit busy, January just has been a quieter month for myself. Obviously, I've been working on exam developments for Microsoft and CompTIA, so that has taken up my time this month. But we're looking forward to getting back stuck into it for February and March. We have St. Patrick's Day coming up soon enough as well, so that'll be very exciting.
We're talking about the first Thursday of the month
Yes.
for Journey to the Cloud, right?
Yeah, we're thinking of the first Thursday monthly, and we'll have a lineup for anyone that would like to speak. Again, we have a website, we have a newsletter, and soon enough, we'll have a dedicated page for regional director updates. Once I get more information on that myself. So we'll have a lot of Microsoft updates and posts on that. We are doing a call out to speakers, anyone that's interested in getting involved, to either be part of the group, the web, I suppose the website contributions. Of course, Solomon is our head web developer for the Focus IT website. So he's done some great work there. We'll have that updated shortly over the next week or two with some of our most recent contributors. Again, we're looking for more people to do newsletters. So if you think that's something you'd like to do and you'd like to get your speak out, absolutely do engage with any of us. Again, we also need speakers. So I'd urge anybody that has an interest to get in touch with us. You can always approach myself, Dan, Frank, Solomon, Micah, the core team here at Journey to the Cloud. Always interested to have you. We'll hopefully do a Women in Tech event soon enough again for anybody that wants to kind of speak at that or help out at that. That'd be great. So just thank you to everyone this year so far who has tuned in, and we look forward to bringing more content, interesting stories, more demos, and thank you. All right.
Yeah. And Frank, thanks for leading with the Azure and AI show.
Yes.
So we'll lead you to it.
Yes. So thank you very much, Frank, for doing this.
So listen, lads, enjoy the rest of your day in Chicago.
Okay, so can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So I think my network messed up on my servers, which I will fix. But what I can just do, I will just give a slide of what exactly it will look like, because I already created it on another server. So I will just show from the parts where I stopped. I have slides for it. So this is exactly what we should be seeing. Let me share my screen right now. I will just do a demo of exactly what, so we can see what it will look like. So this is the slide. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, can see.
Okay, yeah. So what I was expecting to happen next was this coming up, and then I will select the cloud environment. You know, Azure, we have different cloud environments. We have the China and the US, but I'm using the Azure cloud. So I will select this, then I will sign in with my account for Microsoft. So that's the next thing I would have done. Then after doing that, yeah, this is the sign up process. I took a screenshot. I was signing up with my email. I will select my subscription. So when I select the subscription, the next thing I'll do is to select the resource group of the storage I created, and then I'll select the sync service, which I created also. So once that is done, I will get to this place where it will successfully register the server. So once the server is registered, you can now see when I come here, this is the sync group I created, and I would now go to the next part. Let me open the next part, which is this. So this is, let me go down to, I still need to go down. Okay, hold on. I think the slide is messed up, but let me get to let me just open them singly instead of moving. Yep. So now this is the point where I am copying the location I want to share on the file when I'm registering the server. So if I want to register the server, I have to pick a location where that will be syncing to the file share I created. That's the single for my server. So this is the location I mapped to the other computer. I will pick this location, and once I'm done selecting that location, this is what would happen next. I will go to add server endpoint. So at the point where I'm adding server endpoint, because I've already registered my server, it would come up at this point, and then I can paste in that link for my server. That's the link I shared. And then we have this option for the cloud tiering. That's, I can choose to say, I want my frequently accessed file to be cached to my on-prem server, or I can choose to just say, just duplicate my files the way they are right now to wherever my shared files location in my server is. So I can choose all of that here. I can do also choose the initial sync. So once I create this now, once I click on create this, the next thing that should come up should be this. You would see it's provisioning. So I already did a detailed blog for it. So you'll see this provisioning. So once this is done, the next thing you will be seeing would be the server. So if you go to registered server now, you will see that the server has been registered, and it will show you the server is online. You can also see the operating system for the server. So once you see this, I will pull the next slide. So the next slide now is, you can see that this location I showed earlier on the first slide was having just staff data. It wasn't having what is cloud computing. The what is cloud computing came from the Azure file share. It synced back to my server on-prem, and this is the device I mapped to another computer. I can see the cloud computer. I mapped this location to the other computer, and the file that was on the server, which is the staff data, is now showing on the other computer I mapped to that location, and is available now on-prem, is available on the mapped drive I created for the computer that is on a work group, and is also available on Azure. So once you move files, or you move files to this particular location on your on-prem server, it will sync to Azure, and these users, they can also access it. And if maybe they make any editing here, it syncs to Azure, and then it syncs back to your on-prem. So I think I would just release the blog post now, since already something
have
went
it.
wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is already the blog post I did. So I think
So
something went. Yeah.
So would this be classed as a hybrid cloud?
Yeah, I should be hybrid. It will be
Yeah,
classified as
'cause-
hybrid because it's on-prem and it's also on cloud. Yeah,
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 yeah. That's a good example of the hybrid cloud. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So this is exactly what it should be. So I will still try to see if I can just make a video and upload on my YouTube channel about that. Yeah, and
yeah,
that will be fine. I just wanted to like do it live, and then what always happen when you're doing live demos happened. Yeah.
yeah. But
So
you're able to react and fix it anyway. Then afterwards, which is
yeah. I will fix it. I know I'll fix it. It's just that it's live. So, but it's something I'll fix. It just have to do with my servers. Yeah.
Yeah, I say, like going forward, if we're doing any more demos like that, we can kind of switch from one content to another, while you're maybe uploading something to Azure or something like that, and then kind
Yeah.
of come back to it, to be
Yeah. We
good.
can do that. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, yeah. So we're nearly up on the hour now. So we're going to schedule another one again for next Friday.
Yeah.
And sure, we'll talk to you during the week and we'll see what.
Yeah. Next Friday, that will be fine. I might be doing something else next Friday. I would have another demo for next Friday because I will
Yeah,
probably create a blog content
that's
for it.
okay. Sure.
Yeah.
If you want to tell me what you want to do it, and I'll advertise it during the week for
Okay.
what we're going to have on.
Okay.
So Matt and Dan are gone off downtown Chicago now looking for their computers. So we'll end it here. So Solomon, thanks very much again for the demo and on Azure, file share and that. And from myself here in Ireland, thanks everybody for joining in, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for your time. Bye.
Yeah, I'm just after